Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. I wanted to talk about a guy named Mark Burns today. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. I've talked about him before. It's been a while, so I want to give like a little bit of a refresher on some of the more psychotic stuff he's had to say. He did run for Congress in 2022, I think, but lost. He ran for South Carolina's 4th District. Yeah, it did not work out for him. Anyway, I wanted to talk about him because he was on this TV show, Flashpoint. He comes on the show fairly regularly. It's on Kenneth Copeland's TV network, the Victory channel. So anyway, I want to listen to what Mark Burns had to say on that. But before we listen to that, let me give you a little idea of who this guy is. A little bit of lead up here. Back in the I think 40s and 50s, maybe, there was something called McCarthyism. The House of Representatives had a, what do you call it, like a, committee called the House of Un-American Activities Committee. And anytime somebody was suspected of being a communist, quote unquote, they were investigated. Their whole lives are torn to pieces, torn apart, and everything. It was just bad. People jailed and all of that. It was really, really ugly. It was an ugly time in American history, and we've come a long way with First Amendment rights since then, and Fourth Amendment rights against unreasonable search and seizure. So anyway, that's the lead up you need to understand what this guy's talking about. Now, let's listen to him talk about how he feels about reporters.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, David.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Before we start this, we're going to be playing some Tears of the Kingdom. Shouldn't bother you too much. It'll be in the background if you never played it. Just kind of running around collecting items for armor and stuff. Anyway, yeah, let's listen to Mark Burns here.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, David, when I'm elected, I am going to help formulate and re-energize a committee called HUAC. HUAC is the House of Un-American Activities Committee.
He wants to restart the House of, he wants to restart McCarthyism, right? He wants to restart the House of Un-American Activities Committee. That is psychotic. And who is he going to target? Presumably non-Christians, non-Christian nationalists, we'll put it that way, non-Christian nationalist extremists, because they don't really care about communism as much as they did. Yeah, they hate communism, it's evil. But non-Christian nationalists are really their target right now. Trans people, black people with the DEI fearmongering, the CRT fearmongering and all that stuff. That has been their target. So I assume that's who he would want to target. Oh, and also journalists. It's un-American if you report negatively about the party in power. Seriously, this is insane.
This is a committee. It is not a new committee. It was a committee that was during the time that existed in the 40s and the 50s, but it's a committee that its sole purpose is to identify Americans, media, elected officials who are doing un-American activities and to hold them for treason here in America.
That is about as disturbing as it gets, honestly. Hold them for treason. Treason comes with the death penalty. So you get the death penalty for being a traitor to the U.S. government by being trans, by not being a Christian, by whatever. Jesus Christ, dude. You think that's bad? Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, check this one out. This is him at a, I'm not sure where he was in this. Just listen to what he has to say here.
You see an Antifa flag, go knock out their window. That's my thought. Forgive me, Lord.
You see an Antifa flag, go knock out their window.
Forgive me, Jesus, Lord, forgive me. I'm asking for forgiveness right now. I'm asking for forgiveness.
It was just a thought. It was just a thought.
But I'm saying the Bible says that the kingdom suffers violence and
yes.
the violence take it by force. The problem is we're being too coward and too weak, and we think that man has authority over us when we serve a big God.
So he's saying he wants violence, and he believes that he's not going to get to be in power, not just him, but his belief system, unless they use violence to get there, apparently. As foretold by the Bible, ?
Giving us power and authority to tread over every demonic spirit. But
So the Bible's given us power and authority to use violence against non-Christian nationalist extremists. I keep saying Christian nationalists rather than Christians because it's really not about Christians. It's about their specific brand of Christian. That's what they care about. They don't want run-of-the-mill Methodists in office. They're too, Methodists are too, light. They have too light a touch. They're too weak, if you will. They want what they call non-denominational Christians. Most of these people, evangelicals, call themselves non-denominational, but it's a form of Pentecostalism that believes in speaking in tongues and a whole bunch of other stuff. Hang on, let me actually find something for you guys real quick. 1 second here. There's a... Are you kidding me? Okay, I'm sorry. Hang on. I just want to find something. There we are. Okay. If you don't follow their exact expectations and patterns and all that stuff, you don't fit into their little world view. So let me switch back so you guys can see. Now, I haven't pulled this clip yet. I wanted to pull it and download it. But I'll just pull it up for you guys if I can. Let's see. Yeah, okay, here we go. Let me make it big so you guys can see it a little clearer here. And turn on the sound. All right, now watch this. This is on the Arizona state floor of the House of Representatives, okay? This is the House of Representatives in Arizona. Just a few days ago, I believe.
Let it be so, Father God. Let it be so. Let it be so.
They're speaking in tongues to find the answer to whether they need to, whatever they need to do with abortion or some other crazy Christian nationalist extremist belief. I don't know what.
Lord, right now we just release the presence of the Lord in the Senate chamber. We just release the hovering glory
Oh, it's a Senate chamber.
of God Almighty in the Senate chamber. We just pray right now, Lord God, over every desk.
That, my friends, is psychotic. I'm sorry. That is just too much. Absolutely too much. So anyway, the point here is if you aren't their very specific brand of Christian nationalists, then they don't really want you involved in government to any degree. You have to adhere to speaking in tongues and prosperity gospel and all of the other junk that comes with it. Otherwise, you're basically an atheist to them. Absolutely insane. And God has granted this dude authority to get violent with you or me or whoever to take power, whatever it takes.
So if they're going to knock out a window, you're going to knock out two of theirs.
That's what Jesus said, go buy 2 swords.
That's what come on, brother.
Yeah, right.
Come on, man.
This whole Antifa thing is fabricated. But, I mean, it's a good indication of when this clip came out. This came out 2022. It was early April 2022. Antifa was like the center of conversation on the right. Like, I think right now it's DEI. Before that, it was wokeism. Before that, it was CRT. And before that, it was Antifa. Antifa is this big evil monster coming to get you, or it's just insane. So anyway, yeah, they have found their justification to get violent. Check this one out. This is him throwing a hissy fit, the likes of which I haven't seen since I didn't feed my cats on time. over the idea that a school might be removing the song Jingle Bells because of its religious theme or whatever. Jingle Bells doesn't have a religious theme, by the way. It was the only song that I was allowed to sing in school as a Jehovah's Witness, you know. Not allowed to be involved in religious stuff at all. They would sing Amazing Grace, or they'd sing, you know, Christmas carols, whatever. Any Christmas song at all. Doesn't even have to be like religious to any degree. But I couldn't sing any of them except Jingle Bells because it's just about riding on a one-horse open sleigh.
They're removing Jingle Bells, the song.
By the way, I don't know who they is. He's talking about some ambiguous they, some authority that he doesn't name. Who is removing Jingle Bells?
They're removing Jingle Bells, the song, from school curriculums because they felt it was too Christian of a song. This is a direct attack on us Christians, a direct attack on our faith and our schools and our homes and our society.
Okay, it looks like I was just Googling like what he's talking about, and it looks like there was. So if you notice, he said,
"This is a direct."
Wait a minute, let me find it.
Because they
Sorry.
Jingle Bells, the song, from school curriculums.
Removing them from school curriculums, plural. They are removing them from school curriculums, and they, of course, that in this case, he's presenting they as like a plural descriptor. But anyway, from what I can tell, Jingle Bells was removed from a school over its questionable past. It was an elementary school, one, in New York State. Now, I don't know what that means, questionable past, why they did that or whatever. I have no idea. But he seems to be completely bent out of shape over absolutely nothing, and it's nuts.
Because they felt it was too Christian of a song.
Okay, what is Jingle Bells' questionable past? I have to know now. What's a questionable past? Hang on, I'm sorry. Just getting stupid ads. Popular Christmas song Jingle Bells removed from a New York elementary school's music curriculum over its questionable past. The decision to drop the song was first reported by the Rochester Beacon in New York State. Yeah, Rochester is upstate, I think. Not New York City. Prompting the Brighton Central School District superintendent in a December 28th letter to defend the move at a Council Rock primary school as an effort to be more culturally responsive, thoughtful, and inclusive. Okay, I honestly, I don't agree with that. But you know what? Like we can have debate. It doesn't seem to say anything about like Christianity. It's a Christmas song, but Christianity is very much like a secularized holiday at this point. And, there are a lot of people who don't celebrate Christmas. Also, in New York City schools, the kids get Christmas and Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah. They're tied together. Yom Kippur is the first day. Rosh Hashanah is the end of that little, ritual or whatever. They get those 2 days off, and they also get some Muslim holiday off. I don't remember what it is now. But anyway, I'm all for being inclusive. Include everybody. Make them all feel welcome. But I think that's kind of stupid to remove Jingle Bells. Like, people can sing about sledding.
This is a direct attack on us Christians, a direct attack on our faith.
No, that's not what it was. It was not a direct attack on Christians. He is blowing this completely out of proportion. Surprised?
And our schools and our homes and our society is literally right now on its way to hell unless we turn back to God, turn
because of Jingle Bells?
Back to Jesus, and we Christians stand up and fight, just like the Black Robe Regiment did in the 1700s.
Oh, my God. Black Robe Regiment. Yeah, that's just propaganda. There was no Black Robe Regiment. The word seems to have appeared, or the term, It looks like it appeared after David Barton mentioned it in his 1995 book. As far as I can tell, David Barton started it. The Black Robe Regiment claim, the propaganda about it. It's just not real. But anyway, the claim is that there were preachers who were, in the early United States, before it was the United States, who militarized their churches. He preached about hating the British in the Revolutionary War, before the war, preached about hating the British, and then pulled his robe off and was wearing like military greaves under it or whatever. And he'd give everybody a gun, and they would go to like, shooting training and stuff. That's what he means when he's talking about the Black Robe Regiment. He wants to create a system where people are militarizing their churches. That is psychotic.
In this great a revolutionary...
Oh, and also fake. Yeah, this never happened. This is not real, like I said. This is just the Christian nationalist attempt to rewrite history and justify militarizing their churches.
Like the Black Robe Regiment did in the 1700s in this great Revolutionary War. And I am proud to have my Black Robe Regiment coat that I wear along with my other brothers and sisters in the gospel. I am a Black Robe preacher. And
Jesus Christ, dude.
I'm going to preach the gospel of Jesus in the halls of Congress. I'm going to bring the gospel of Jesus back to the center of American politics.
As if I didn't just play a video of senators on the Arizona floor praying in tongues. Like, my God. As if religion has been removed and it needs to be reinstated in the first place. This is insane.
And bring
19 months. Oh, have you heard of Pastor Kim Owens? Who, boy, she's a nutball from Arizona. Can't wait for the book. Appreciate it. Yes, thank you, Naricol. My book is on its way. It'll be here tomorrow, actually. Then I'm going to start shipping it out to people. Signing and all that junk. It'll be interesting. And I'm trying to get it, set up on Amazon right now. It's a struggle. They have very specific requirements, Amazon does, and it's frustrating. It's taken me 2 hours already to correct the size of the image for the cover and everything. Anyway. Yeah, so the book will be out soon. I can't wait for it either.
This nation back to where it belongs.
Oh, yeah, by the way, I guess that was the end. Sorry. By the way, you can check the book out on owenmorgan.com/book. You can also check it out on Amazon. Understanding Jehovah's Witnesses and 100 Questions for Jehovah's Witnesses. It's on Kindle right now. Those are the only two places you can get it. Well, 3. Kindle, Amazon, my storefront. But you can only get the paperback copy through me. Anyway, yeah, like I said, I'm working on getting the paperback set up for Amazon. Anyway, let's get back to Mark Burns here. Okay, yeah, check this one out. This one was from mid-November 2021.
I'm excited about the growing movement, especially here in the 4th District of South Carolina, of people who are identifying themselves as just Christian conservatives, right? We got to take it back to the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I believe the people here in the 4th District of South Carolina are getting that. It's not just about being Republicans. It's about being a conservative Christian who believes this is a Christian nation, and any policy that is contrary to the word of God, we need to remove it from mainstream America and make it illegal. I'm excited.
Oops, sorry. So any policy that is contrary to his interpretation of the word of God needs to be removed from society and made illegal. You ever notice how these people always default to the Mosaic Law, even though that was abolished, fulfilled by Jesus when he came to earth? That's why they eat pork and shellfish and wear cotton and linen blends and stuff. He doesn't have a problem with all of that, but he does seemingly have a problem with what, like people, I get what, being gay, I suppose. That's in the Mosaic Law. What else is it that he likes about the Mosaic Law? I don't even remember now, all of them. Anyway, it's just insane. He wants to reinstate certain specific, certain specific laws or rules from the Old Testament, and he wants to pick and choose which ones those are. Psychotic. Let's see. All right, this one is where he called for the death of LGBT people, I believe.
The LGBT, transgender, grooming our children's minds.
I just want to say that's not happening. I'm sure I probably don't need to say that. I just want to make sure everybody's... That's fabricated. It's fake. That is not happening. It's never been happening.
Minds is a national security threat because it is ultimately designed to destabilize the republic we call the United States of America.
So gay people are sending, their people into schools. Oh, and trans people too, obviously, right? They're sending them into schools to convince kids to be gay or trans in an effort to destabilize the country. Okay, wow.
That's why when I'm elected, I don't want to just vote. I want to start holding people accountable for treason to the Constitution.
Again, treason and murder are the only two things that you can get a death sentence for. They can put you to death for those. That's why he says treason instead of, I don't know. What would it be? I have no, there is no other thing. It can't even be treason, so the whole thing is fabricated. But death penalty is pretty disturbing for being gay.
I am going to push to reenact HUAC. HUAC is the House of Un-American Activities Committee. It was a real committee that was formulated back in the 50s, and it's a committee that we should reenact that starts holding these people accountable for treason.
Yeah, that's what McCarthyism was doing? Holding people accountable? Okay. There's this old, here we go. Okay, there's this old video of Chinese prisoners of war. Well, they're American prisoners of war in a Chinese POW camp. And the Chinese did brainwashing techniques on these people, just studied brainwashing and attempted to, get them to renounce their citizenship to the U.S. and move to China, basically, just to see if they could. And sure, I mean, this is the basis of a lot of the cult research that I've talked about and that many others have talked about. Stephen Hassan, this is kind of the basis of where he got it. I'm sorry, let me just make sure that okay, we're good. This is the basis of it. So anyway, this is where Americans started realizing that something was up. Something was not right about what was happening when this video was sent to America from China.
My name is Harold Webb from West Palm Beach, Florida. My name is Aaron Wilson from Urania, Louisiana. This is a very happy moment for me, for now I am free from McCarthyism.
You catch that? Free from McCarthyism. That's fascinating, right? All the way back then, they were talking about McCarthyism being evil and all that stuff. And yeah, absolutely. That's fair. Try to be free from McCarthyism. I mean, renouncing your citizenship and staying in China, that's brainwashing straight up, but that's insane. But McCarthyism was the basis for a lot of problems in society, and it was wrong, just straight up wrong. And this guy wants it back again, Mark Burns. He likes it.
Friends, the only way to stop fascism in America is to do as I have done. Stand up and fight for our rights.
My name is Louis Griggs, and my home is at Jacksonville, Texas. I stayed behind to escape the red bait of McCarthy, and to assure
McCarthyism again.
I'll never again have to fight in another unjust war as I did in Korea. Even if I had wanted repatriation, the fates of Dickinson and Batchelor would have stopped me.
My name is Richard Tennyson.
Oh, yeah, I guess this is the Korean War. That was in the 50s, I think.
I live in Alden, Minnesota. People who hate war and stand up for their beliefs are faced with McCarthy and his fascist gut-control House Un-American Activities Committee.
That is absolutely true. Did you hear that just now? Listen again, real close.
House Un-American Activities Committee.
The House of Un-American Activities Committee. He mentioned it directly. That is what Mark Burns wants to restore or reinstate. Seriously. It was so bad that it was used in Chinese propaganda and brainwashing. It was bad. And the dude wants to bring it back. Really, this is brainwashing, though. If you want a quick and dirty explanation, I can give one, but a good, more drawn-out explanation can be obtained from the book Influence by Robert Cialdini. He really digs into it. The original research was done by a guy named Robert J. Lifton, I think was his name. Let me look. Yeah, Robert J. Lifton. And his most famous Thought Reform, yeah, this is it. Thought Reform and the Psychology of Totalism. That was the book where he talked about this. Is in the 1950s. And it was absolutely fascinating to listen or to read. Just all of this stuff is fascinating to read about. But here's a quick and dirty explanation of how they were brainwashed. They would incentivize good behavior, and they would demonize bad behavior. And it was kind of a combination of good cop, bad cop. You know, they would have somebody in the camp, some Chinese guy, who would befriend them. And, you know, they were mistreated by all of the other guards or whatever, but this guard stuck up for him. And, you know, the guy's not so bad, right? He's helping. And he'd say, look, my superiors told me if you write something positive about America and positive about China and negative about America and negative about China, then I'll give you like 3 cigarettes for it, you know. And he's like, okay, well, I think I can do that. And he did it. Next thing you know, you see his negatives about America and positives about China on pieces of paper posted up all over the prisoner camp. And others in the camp are seeing these papers. Anyway, that's not the subject that we're here to talk about, but it was fascinating, the whole thing. It was full-blown brainwashing. But, you know, you see movies where they bring people into a room and they keep them there for like a week and they give them drugs and then they're brainwashed. It does not work that way at all. It's a long, drawn-out process that takes forever. If it was that easy, then you know the military would have weaponized it like a long time ago against the American people. Anyway, you know, America made it easy for this process to happen with the House of Un-American Activities Committee and McCarthyism. Nobody liked that.
Oh, House Un-American Activities Committee. I will return someday when I can speak for peace lawfully.
Anyway, the point here is that dude wants to reinstate the House of Un-American Activities Committee, and he wants to charge gay and trans people, LGBT people in general, with treason.
People accountable for treason. Lindsey Graham should be held accountable for treason for supporting Joe Biden's gun-grabbing Second Amendment law that he's trying to push forward. Lindsey Graham, my opponent's mentor, just stated that I am supporting all initiatives that Joe Biden has put forward with gun control, and he is pushing for others, Democrats, to push it to a vote. Mitch McConnell just stated to urge other Republican senators to support Lindsey Graham to come after our guns.
I mean, this is all complete nonsense, obviously. I'm sure I don't even need to say that. The dude is a propagandist, but it's fascinating to listen to him demonize certain specific people and call for the reformation of HUAC.
confiscate our guns. That should be held for treason, not just be voting people. No, we need to hold people for treason, start having some public hearings, and start executing people who are found guilty for their treasonous acts against the Constitution of the United States of America, just like they did back in 1776.
That is absolutely insane. Look, I consider myself a patriot for real. I love this country and I love the city that I'm in and the state. They're fantastic. It's a fantastic place to live. This isn't patriotism. This is extremism. This is nationalism. These people need help, seriously. And this person on the left here, she's an open white nationalist, borderline Nazi. I mean, she is a Nazi, full-blown Nazi, but she keeps that a little bit more veiled. That's Lauren Witzke. I've talked about her a little bit. Anyway, after that, he went on Diamond and Silk's show. I think the one on the left, one of them died a while back. Rest in peace. I don't remember which one it was, but anyway, listen to what he said in response to being called out for that clip we just watched.
If people would just go do their due diligence and just watch the show in its entirety, then you would clearly hear me not say that we should be killing the LGBT or transgender, community.
No, that's what he said. Pretty clear. I don't know how he's gonna try to weasel his way out of this one.
Been getting blasted from the gay community and trans community from all over the country.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because, Newsweek and MSNBC and all of those other liberal medias took pieces of two answers.
Dude, this guy cannot take responsibility for a damn thing, can he? He said he wants to hold LGBT people accountable for treason, basically. He said he wants to charge them with treason. And treason is the death penalty. That's what you get for treason, as he outlined in the very next section where he was talking about gun rights and all that stuff. He is just doing his best to weasel out of this, isn't he?
There was two separate questions. There were two separate topics.
Anyway, that's Mark Burns. It's so stupid, dude. It is so stupid. So I want to listen to what he had to say on Flashpoint. Give a little background on what we're looking at right now. Supposedly, Trump showed up to a Chick-fil-A and bought 30 milkshakes or something and passed them out to people. I'm not 100% sure what happened or if that's even real, but that's what was reported by Fox News. So take that for what you will. I think we have some video footage of something happening here. Anyway, listen to this on Jesse Waters on Fox News.
Showed what love is, hitting up a Chick-fil-A in Atlanta.
This is actually a good move, in all seriousness. Very intelligent thing to do. Show up at random restaurants and pay for everybody's food. Makes you look like you're a common man in the common area with other people. And really boosts people's respect for you.
What good-looking people! Wow, that was worth it. And I love those what you have there. Let me see that.
I love those what you have there. What?
That's beautiful. Wow. It's art, right? How you doing? Everything okay?
Dude, is he hitting on these people or something? What's happening?
So can I have 30 milkshakes and also some chicken? And we're gonna take care of the customers.
Oh, yeah, because he showed up to a restaurant not too long ago, said food for everybody, and then left. Didn't pay anything for anybody. Oh, my God. It's such, it is so shameless. I guess he learned better of it after that one, huh?
This is good. Making a lot of money. Everyone getting rich, right? Thanks. Thank you very much. Look at the way you hold. You like each other, right? I think that's very nice.
People like Trump because Trump likes people.
No, he doesn't. He likes convincing people to vote for him. He likes power. And he'll do whatever it takes to get it. Honestly, Biden should be doing stuff like this. He should have done this a long time ago. Get in there with the people. Show up, you know? Buy food for everybody at restaurants. Just go around the country buying food for everybody. Yeah, student loan cancellation is really, really valuable and necessary. But you can't beat the PR of showing up somewhere and buying food for people. You cannot beat that PR. Dude, what am I even doing? I'm trying to remember what I was doing here. I guess in the game. Oh, yeah, I remember now. I was, all right, yeah, let's continue.
It's that simple.
It's that simple. He likes people. Of course, that was in Atlanta yesterday. Let me bring in our good friend, someone from my tribe, my brother, Pastor Mark Burns. Come on in here, Pastor Mark. Good to see you.
Here we go.
Sir?
So happy to be back, Pastor Gene. So happy to see you.
It's been too long. I don't know where you've been. Where you been?
You know,
You've been working
the
hard.
liberal media.
You have been destroying the liberal media.
Jesus coming back.
Come on. All right. Well, Pastor Mark, before I get into what's new with you, and I want to talk about that, tell me why this candidate does such a good job identifying with people at a chick.
Okay. Well, that's because he showed up and did it. That's all. That was an incredibly good idea by Trump's PR team, honestly.
Filet in Atlanta. Come on. Why does that work for him?
Well, I mean, first of all, because he genuinely loves people. For those that know him,
no, he doesn't.
Him intimately, he really loves people.
This guy does know Trump intimately, in all seriousness. He has worked with Trump directly. I believe he's prayed over him and stuff like that.
Back in 2015, when I was there, it used to vex me so much to hear people call this man a racist, to hear them say that he is, he's going to put black people back into chains. Like,
okay, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that, but either way, yeah, Donald Trump is a racist. That's true. That is factual. That is a factual statement. You know why I say that? It's on record. It's on public record. Donald Trump was sued for racist renting policies in the 1970s, intentionally setting out to not rent to black people. And he was sued by the U.S. government and forced to do so, I believe.
Joe Biden and the Democrat Party used to infuriate the black community. Donald Trump is from New York, and Donald Trump has a love for producers, regardless of the color of your skin. And you see
for producers
that in the Chick-fil-A, how, again, and there was a clip you did not play that is going around on the internet of all of the so many black people in Atlanta. You understand, Atlanta is the heart of the Democratic Party here in the South.
Dude, he showed up to an Atlanta Chick-fil-A. Seriously, couldn't have been a better plan. It was such a good idea. Whoever pitched that to him.
But to see all those black people on the edge of the street as the caravan comes through and they're screaming, "Free Trump, free."
Yeah, somebody says the original New York City slumlord. 100%. Yep. You're absolutely correct on that one. The original New York City slumlord.
Trump, that Trump is rolling in, and how all of these, my brothers and sisters, are greeting Donald Trump as he come into the city. And then you see the love that he's getting at the Chick-fil-A because he loves people. And when you get through the liberal media, who is backed by the DNC, they're backed by the Democratic Party.
They just completely made up all of this. He likes people? No. Trump likes having his butt kissed and being worshipped. Absolutely. And this is a straight shot to that, so he's going to do it. Like I said, Biden should be doing this. I don't know why he's not. I don't know why others haven't done this. Like, get involved. Get in there. You know, get up close and personal to people. Donald Trump is always holding rallies and talking to people and everything else. This is how you make it feel like you're like a personable man, like a common man, if you will.
They're an extension of the Democratic Party. Their sole job is to paint Donald Trump or any white person who supports the
Dude, I don't know who they is. Who is he saying they is? He's saying the liberal media is wait, liberals are paying the media to slander Trump or whatever. I don't know. This is just like bizarre.
DNC, they're backed by the Democratic Party. They're an extension of the Democratic Party. Their sole job is to paint Donald Trump or any white person who supports the conservative movement as racist and bigots in order to keep black people in line. But as you can see, Gene, that's breaking. That has been destroyed.
Right.
And black.
No, it's really not. You know, as a voting bloc, the black population still largely votes Democrat. They have always voted for the left-leaning party, the liberal party. The conservative party used to be the Democrats back in the day, you know, before 1950, basically. And then it switched to the Republicans being the conservative party. So
people are waking up.
All right, so let me ask you this, Mark, because you're a hardworking brother. I mean, you got you.
A hard-working brother, he said. Holy Christ, dude.
Pastor at church. I see you traveling all the time. And then I see, I mean, you're launching your military academy that you've been working on. And now, what's the latest?
Wait, military academy? Dude's launching a military academy? Oh, don't tell me that.
Latest thing you're doing?
I'm running for U.S. Congress, Gene.
Of course.
Again, really?
For U.S. Congress to represent the 3rd Congressional District here in South Carolina, where God lives.
Now, hang on. Is that where he was running before? Oh, by the way, I forgot. This is a like a tweet from him or whatever. Christians, give up secular music. This is March 26, 2024, so not long ago. Christians, give up secular music and secular friends. Remove yourself from anyone or anything that can take your mind off of Master Jesus. Playing into the slavery trope. Master Jesus. He didn't say Lord Jesus. He didn't say my King Jesus. He said Master Jesus. Only surround yourself with worship music and friends who know how to worship. Because secular music and secular friends are Satan's windows into your life. And then he quotes some Bible verses. Anyway, just shameless and psychotic. This dude is absolutely terrible. It's honestly disgusting. Now let me see what was his Mark Burns. I want to see which one he was running for before. Yeah, here we go. He's running for the 4th congressional district in South Carolina previously. Now he's running for the 3rd.
Look at that.
Maybe he'll have better luck in the 3rd district.
That sign right there, because this is what I want people to see. Mark Burns, U.S. Congress, God first. I love that, Pastor Mark. Way to go. God first.
Yes.
You're doing that. Did you know you were going to be running? I mean, you got a big red bus with your name on the side. I mean,
yeah, of course. He ran in the previous term. Like what? Yes, he knew he was going to be running.
You held this a secret if you knew this was going to happen.
They even had him on. Some of the clips I played were from him on Flashpoint, running for Congress previously. Of course, he had all of this stuff already.
Well, again, President Trump, I said, I would run if he supports me. I would do if he desires for me to run, if he desires me to support the Make America Great Again policies, and he wants another fighter, I would run. And the president called me the day of the filing at about an hour or two before the deadline and says, Pastor, I want you to get out there. I want you to run. I want you to represent. You've been my friend for such a long time, and you represent.
Okay, yes, we know that you know Donald Trump. Wow, that's really cool.
Exactly the Make America Great Again policies. We need more Christian fighters in the halls of Congress, because as you see my sign, this is all about bringing Christ back into the center of American policies and politics. And I know the liberal media is going to go crazy over that statement because they're calling us Christian nationalists. But then
they are Christian nationalists by definition.
They're calling us white Christian nationalists.
Okay, there are white Christian nationalists, but I don't think anybody is calling these people white Christian nationalists as a bloc. I've been referring to Christian nationalists.
With some racists. I was with General Flynn a couple of days ago going to see his movie.
He's not a general, right? He was, he took a contract from Turkey to capture a U.S. citizen and bring them to Turkey for execution, right? Or something to that. I don't even remember now. Don't quote me. And a whole bunch of other stuff. And he's not, like, legally allowed to take contracts or whatever without disclosing it when he was in his position as a national security advisor or whatever it was. So anyway, he's, oh yeah, and he definitely, in my opinion, committed sedition against the U.S. government. And I don't know why he's not in jail. Actually, I do know why he's not in jail. You know why? Because Donald Trump gave him a pardon, didn't he? Michael Flynn pardon Trump. Yeah. Trump pardoned him on Wednesday, who had pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI about his conversations with a Russian diplomat and whose prosecution attorney general William Barr tried to shut down. Yeah, that's another thing. In addition to the Turkey stuff, he also acted as a back channel between Trump and Putin, basically, where Trump didn't have to have any direct communication with Putin so that he wouldn't, you know, he could have plausible deniability. And he told Putin, look, if we win the election... So leading up to that, he attacked Ukraine in 2014, leading up to the election. And he said, if we win the election, we will lift the sanctions. So just chill out. And Obama places sanctions on him, and nothing happens. He doesn't care. He just keeps on bebopping along. That's not like Putin. And sure enough, when Trump won, he lifted those sanctions on Russia. Michael Flynn is a traitor to the U.S. government, in my opinion. I don't know if, you know, that the legal definition fits. Probably not. I have no clue. But he's a traitor, as far as I'm concerned.
The Flynn movie, and he reminded everybody how much of a...
He does not deserve the title of general. He had that stripped from him, I believe. I could be wrong on that. Rightfully so, if he did. He should not be called General Flynn. At best, he's Mr. Flynn.
Going to see his movie, the Flynn movie, and he reminded everybody how much of a racist they call me because I support the fact that Jesus is Messiah, and there is no way to the Father except through the Son. And I'm bold in that faith, and I will be saying that in the halls of Congress. So I'm honored to receive President Trump's endorsement for everyone.
Oh my God, dude. These people are they have such a victim complex. They're convinced that, you know, the country is non-religious now, and nobody in the country is religious, and they're the ones that have to, like, convert everybody by word or by sword, by mouth or sword, effectively.
One that's watching, who is part of the Army, go to markburns.org and support me. We got less than 60 days till the election, Gene.
All right, so let me get your opinion here, Pastor Mark, on, first off, you're not, when I think of white racist, I don't think of your picture. For some reason, I don't.
Mark Burns is very racist against black people. He pushes policies that are harmful to the black community and has said some deeply racist stuff. You can be black and racist simultaneously. That is possible. And Mark Burns has accomplished that. I mean, look at Jesse Lee Peterson. Oh my God. Seriously. You know what? Jesse Lee Peterson's a perfect example. I have a video coming out about him soon, so I'm not going to, like, go down this rabbit hole. But let me just... Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Right here. This clip right here. Jesse Lee Peterson. Not a tiny person, by the way. Pretty big platform. This one is from... when's this from? Early June 2022.
I used to think that when they used that word, white supremacy, it was a negative word. But now I realize what they're thinking is that, and it's true, by the way, that white men are smarter than them, superior to them, and instead of learning, oh, hey, how did you become so superior? They want to destroy it so that they won't be reminded how dumb they are. And so they're dumbing everybody and everything down rather than coming up to the level of white supremacy.
That is insane. I mean, you're seeing what I'm saying, right? It's pretty clear that you can be black and also racist simultaneously. I don't think there's any dispute over that anymore. Anyway, let's get back to Mark Burns here.
Don't see that. But in light of all of that, who do you think, if you're going to make a stab at guessing vice presidential pick for Donald Trump, who would it be?
Well, if I was a guessing man for the vice president, I would actually put my hand on Senator Tim Scott. I think.
Why? Tim Scott? Really? Why would you say Tim Scott, of all people? He's like a nobody. Do people even know who Tim Scott is? I would have to look it up. I think he was like a candidate or something.
Senator Tim Scott would represent, and I know there's others who feel strongly against it, and others have their own ideals, but right. I think because he represents, we already have MAGA. But we need that balance off the Republican caucus and bring in the whole caucus together to defeat Joe Biden and the Democrats. And praise God, Breitbart just come out with a poll. The poll just to show that Donald Trump is leading, but by a very, very small margin. And so right now, we're going to have to unify the entire Republican caucus and to make sure that we have not just MAGA, I'm MAGA, but you also need those who are not necessarily MAGA for Trump, therefore the conservative policies and conservative movement, and we need to bring up.
Dude, what is this artifact above his head? You guys seeing this? Look at this weird artifact. When he talks, it moves with his head.
For Trump, therefore the conservative policies and
right where my mouse is.
Conservative movement, and we need to bring all those people in the fold. So if I was a guess,
what is happening? What is that? Bizarre.
Man, I will put my guess on Senator Tim Scott from the great state of South Carolina.
Okay, that seems like a terrible guess to me. But you know what? I didn't see Hillary Clinton picking Tim Kaine. That's who she picked, right? Tim Kaine back in 2016 or whatever. He was like a nobody. I literally had no clue who the guy was. I think he had been the governor of Virginia, and she wanted to guarantee that she would pull Virginia in, and she did pull Virginia, but her vice president pick was not well known enough elsewhere or influential enough to do anything else for her at all. So it was a bad idea ultimately. Picking Tim Scott is really, really stupid.
Well, there are so many choices. It's a tough one to call.
It is.
So we'll definitely see that. All right, I want to show.
If Trump was intelligent, he would pick somebody moderate to kind of even it out. Presidents always pick somebody, or candidates. They pick someone who will shore up their weaknesses, right? Donald Trump wanted to pull the evangelical vote, so he got an evangelical right-wing nutcase as his vice president, Mike Pence. Let me think. Hillary Clinton picked Tim Kaine, I think, because she wanted to get Virginia. Although she should have picked Bernie, I think, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not a political strategist. I don't know. Maybe she made the right decision. Who knows? Anyway, they're there to shore up the candidate's weakness. That's the point. The vice president doesn't really do that much. It's really about image, especially during the campaign. So I don't know why Tim Scott would be valuable to Trump as a VP pick. What would he even get out of that?
This one of the things that we've talked about with Mike Lindell when he's on, as you know, because you've been on the show several times.
Oh no, Mike Pillow.
And on our events, election integrity is very important. And let me show you what RNC Chair Michael Waterly had to say about election.
Okay, the leading report. I've never heard of that in my life. Is this even the real newspaper or whatever it is, commentary thing? I have no idea if this is the real Twitter account for it.
Integrity, watch.
We have set up an election integrity program. As Laura just mentioned, we are hiring election integrity directors and election integrity councils in all of our battleground states to make sure that we're working with the state governments and the local governments all across the board to get the rules of the road right. What we want are fair, accurate, secure, and transparent elections. And when we have it, then we're going to protect the sanctity of that ballot. We're going to.
Okay, elections are secure. Elections are secure. They've been secure all along. Okay? 2020 election was probably the most secure election in American history because Biden knew Trump was going to pull this. He'd been claiming they were rigging it, they, quote unquote, were rigging it for, God, who knows, how long did he claim that? Since, I don't know, maybe 8, 10, 12 months leading up to the election? He'd been claiming it all along, really. So it was obvious, and Biden wanted to make sure everything was above board, and he did make sure of that. But Trump continued to claim it anyway. So this whole election integrity thing is ridiculous. The elections have integrity. Like, we have good, strong election systems in place.
To make it easy to vote and hard to cheat.
Easy to vote, hard to cheat. Pastor Mark, you think we're going
Oh, you want to make it easy to vote now, huh? Okay.
to get that this time?
Without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, the very fact that this time President Trump and the Republican Party never had this much of a close relationship. Again, in 2015 and 2016, many in the RNC was working against the Trump administration. And then in 2020, even though...
No. The RNC is not working against Trump. After he was elected, they worked for him.
He was the incumbent, even though he was the former president, they were working. I mean, he was the incumbent president. They, too, were still working against him. But
no, they were not. Ronna McDaniel was the leader of the RNC, and she was working for Trump, whatever it took, paying his legal bills and everything. Shameless.
But this is the first time in the Donald Trump presidency that the RNC and the Trump campaign are working hand in hand. Of course, with my dear friend Laura Trump, who was doing an amazing job as one of the co-chairs of the RNC, they're working hand in hand. We're going to have Harvard balloting,
Ballot harvesting. Yeah, I get it. I can't knock him for not being able to get his words out. It happens to the best of us. But ballot harvesting is what he was saying. Ballot harvesting is where you go door to door and ask the person if they're registered and if they'd like to vote. And if they do, you can give them their, a ballot, and they can fill it out for their address and everything. Their address will be checked against their name and their signature, which they provided when they registered to vote in the first place. You have to provide your legal information to register. Registering to vote is not an easy process. But going in to vote shouldn't require much work. You should be able to just walk in, vote, and walk out. The idea that this is, like rife with corruption, it's so easy to cheat, it's just ridiculous.
We're going to be out there doing what it takes to make sure that they cannot cheat this time around. We didn't have that operation before, and we're going to have it this time, Gene.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as it's legal, we're going to take advantage of all of that. All right.
Absolutely.
As long as it's legal, okay.
Let me go to you, Pastor Brian. Election integrity, same thought. I want to get your take. You're from a different part of the country than Pastor Mark. What you think?
Okay, why does this guy have a white noise in the background? He has a really nice microphone, like the same one I have. Thing is like $400 or something. Not to mention the cloud lifter you need for it and everything. Why is there white noise in the background? Something is misconfigured here.
We're going to see something realistically fair this time?
Yeah, they handed it to us last time, and
dude, he sounds like he's in a tin can. What's happening?
I'll say it's still like this. 42 of our states don't require voter ID. So to buy a beer, a pack of smokes, lottery ticket, you got to produce some ID. But you can vote for the high.
You can vote without an ID right now, but you have to provide the ID to register to vote. You have to prove that you are who you say you are and that you live where you say you live, and you have to put your signature down, and it has to match the signature on whatever document you provide, and it has to match when you go in and vote.
Highest office in the world without ID. I still think that's lunacy. And
no, you need an ID still, just to register, to my knowledge. When I registered in New York City, I think it required my birth certificate, my social security card, and two proofs of residence. I believe that's what I had to provide to get, to register.
And I think there's holes, the size of the Grand Canyon in our election process. So I think we have a lot.
Well, tell it what holes. What holes specifically? It says we have holes the size of the Grand Canyon in our election systems. Which ones? He just says voter ID, as if that means anything. I just blew a hole right through his claim. Now, what other claims does he have? None.
The size of the Grand Canyon in our election process. So I think we have a lot more fighting to do to get this straight. I think there's been some strides, and people are working and trying. But I think there's still gaping holes, and I think America questions this voting process so strongly. It's hard to receive the results from a state that requires no voter ID after what they did last election cycle.
Again, you need your ID to register. You need to prove who you are. You need to show that you live at this address. You really are an American citizen, and you are who you say you are, and all that junk. Not easy to register to vote in the first place. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's so true. All right, let me bring in someone from the younger generation, our friend Caroline Joyous. Welcome, Caroline, for being back. I want to get your same question, Caroline. Are we going to have a fair election this year? What do you think?
Oh, my God. Of course they're going to say no. They're going to start now. Look, so this is April right now when this show came out. May, June, July, August, September, October, November, 7. 7 months ahead of time, they're already claiming that it's going to be rigged against them. I mean, they did this exact thing the last time around. When I say they, I'm talking all of Trump's sycophants, and Trump specifically. These people right here that we're looking at did this.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Mr. Bailey, for having me back on. It's always a pleasure to join you.
Mr. Bailey, it's Pastor Bailey to you.
Birthday was yesterday, so when she texted me today, I was like, this is the best birthday present ever. Are you kidding me, to come on Flashpoint?
This is so okay.
Again, I'm so excited to be here. But I have to say, I'm very, very concerned because, how could we have secure elections if we don't have secure borders?
Who the holy heck is this person? Caroline Joyous. Caroline Joyous. See if I can figure this out. Caroline Joyous. Okay, she's on the gram, as I believe the kids call it, right? The gram. Worshipper of Jesus is in her description. Oh my God. Okay. Let me pull it up so you guys can see what I'm looking at here.
We're letting millions and millions of...
Oh, it's so stupid. All right, let's see here. Worshipper of Jesus. Songwriter, speaker, and host. Fire and Freedom podcast. Okay. never heard of the Fire and Freedom podcast. It's kind of a shame you can't get like reliable statistics on podcasts. You can't get any statistics. Like, they have to be provided by the podcaster, by and large. Oh, interesting. There should be a centralized system where people all agree, like podcasters agree to provide their statistics to this company, and in return they get something. I don't know, advertising, just a list, or a name on a list or something. I don't know. I haven't thought it through that much. And this company will allow you to just search their database. That should exist. Why doesn't that exist already? Anyway, yeah, that's Caroline Joyous. She's got 2,000. Oh, no, I'm sorry. She's got 42,000 followers. Okay. 42,000 followers on the gram. Wow. Good for her.
Undocumented illegal immigrants, and monthly, and we expect to have our elections secure. I don't know about that. I am encouraged by what's going on with the RNC, like Pastor Burns said, being hand in hand with the with the Trump team, which has never happened before. But of course, I'm pretty concerned, not gonna lie.
Why do you think let me get your take on that, since you went there. Why is the border such a big deal to people your age?
Because these people fearmonger about it 24/7. The border is not a problem right now. The only problem is that we don't have enough immigration judges to get people, their trial for asylum. Like, they request asylum. We need judges to evaluate those asylum requests. And there's a shortage of those people, sadly. So it takes, forever to determine if they can get in or not. I'd like to see more asylum judges.
Well, it isn't. That's the issue. Is that, honestly, I feel like it's so overlooked by my generation. But I think they're starting to wake up, Mr. Bailey, because when they look around and they're
It is so painful every time she says Mr. Bailey.
trying to get jobs, it's harder for them to get jobs, because guess what? They're being replaced. Oh, they're going to vote. They want to vote in, leaders that are going to stand for freedom, who are going to...
Like, who is this person? Is this their token Gen Zer or something? I don't understand. A Gen Zer among boomers.
protect their morals, who are going to protect their American dream. Well, guess what? Someone's already voted in their place, an illegal immigrant. And I think that...
Ridiculous. Absolute nonsense. Illegal immigrants, quote unquote, are incapable of voting because they can't register to vote. And when you fill out a ballot, you have to give all the correct information, your address, your name, and everything that you gave when you registered in the first place. And they check that against all of the other information that you provide on the ballot, and they check your signature and all that other junk. And if, there's some kind of a mismatch or a problem, they do what's called curing ballots, where they go around and they try to figure out what the problem is, if it's close enough. Or if there's some kind of a weird situation happening, like somebody tries to vote in somebody else's name or something, which did happen a couple times. Trump supporters tried to vote for, their dead wife or whatever at one point. Undocumented immigrants are incapable of voting in the United States for 7 years. It takes 7 years minimum to be able to register.
Honestly, the more and the more that the media, like you guys, are highlighting this, the more my generation is waking up to it. We're kind of seeing what's going on. But they definitely don't care enough, and that's why it's important that we come on here and we sound the alarm.
Thank you, Miss Joyous, for that. All right, let me go to...
What was that? That was weird, right? Was that a weird look that he gave her? That whole interaction was very strange. Anyway, Jesus Christ, dude, these people are something else. Let me know what you think about these people. Let me know what you think about these people in the comments. I'm deeply entertained by this. And if you want, I would appreciate it if you check out my book. It's on Kindle, on Amazon. There's a link in the description for that. And it's also owenmorgan.com/book. You can check it out there. It's about Jehovah's Witnesses, their history, and my experiences with them. And I also have another book, 100 Questions for Jehovah's Witnesses, which is actually the last chapter of Understanding Jehovah's Witnesses. The 100 Questions is about, it's a booklet. It's about 80 pages long or so, a thin thing. And it's possible to pass it out to people if you want. So check that out. And check out my Owen Unfiltered YouTube channel tomorrow morning. I do this stuff every Wednesday and Thursday morning. I sit here and I, hang out and play games and talk about this stuff. So anyway, I tell you what, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you coming and hanging out. It's been fun. You know my opinion, says Nerico. Yes. All right.